Welcome to day 10 of our 21-day personal revolution program online. The lesson today comes from that motto that is familiar to many of us, the motto of the SAS, the Special Air Service. Who dares wins. You know, we've all heard of those SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic. Sometimes our idea of what is realistic is actually hindering us. We look at our capabilities and our beliefs about our capabilities are limiting us from what it is we're really going out and doing. Sometimes we need to take an enormous leap of faith in order to see things come to pass. In fact, David Thoreau said we must walk consciously only part way towards our goal and then leap in the dark to our success. Sometimes we need to give ourselves crazy goals. Sometimes we need to say, well, what if? And set ourselves something that we can do, but boy, we've no idea how it's going to work out. And sometimes it's got to be on the absolute edges. Now, I'm not saying risk something, set about something which is going to put your life in danger or is potentially going to cause your company to crash. But there's times when a leap of faith is required and you need that bravery, because who dares wins. It's your prerogative to make the decision, and it is your responsibility to own the outcome, whatever it might be. But think about those things that you could be doing that you've never yet dared to do, and say, well, what if? What if I did do that? A great way of looking at this is to just get yourself into a state where if somebody did say no to you, well, it didn't matter. And if that was true, really true for you, then what would you ask them? What opportunities would you ask for? What contacts would you make? What places would you go to? What plans would you make? If it didn't really matter if they said no, well, then you could ask anything you wanted. Isn't that true? Do you dare to ask the question? Then how about doing so? There's a time for big leaps, and you're not going to progress from where you are without some kind of faith and belief. Well, why not have a lot of faith and belief in order to do that? Why just go incrementally? There's a time for it, I believe. Decide what are you comfortable with, and what would happen if you got outside of that comfort zone? How wrong could it go? Well, set in place things that are going to keep you alive. You're going to make sure you don't have potentially too much loss around this. But what are those things that you wouldn't actually lose if they said no? Nothing would be lost if they said no. You might not like having people say no to you, but darn it, get used to it. You're going to get a lot of it. And those people who progress most of all, I think it was Brian Tracy said, the most important thing to do in business is to ask. If you overcome that issue, you can overcome pretty much everything else. Having no fear to ask. Who dares wins. What are you going to do to put yourself in a position of daring? What are you going to win?